friends.
Hello.
It's Anita
and Joe.
And we are here today for the Park Hopper Daily interviews. This is so exciting. Yeah. First of all, I want to shout out Joe's amazing shirt. Look at it. It's the grape soda. We love Up so much. We even had like an Up themed wedding, and my bouquet was balloons and it was actually ornaments from the dollar store.
Yeah, they look like balloons.
I should show you guys sometime. Maybe I'll show you at the end. But we are here today. We're going to do a live trip review. Oh my goodness, I have to hit record or else I'm not going to have a podcast for later. Hold on 1 second, everyone. Technical difficulty stuff. But if you're here, give us a shout in the comments. And maybe invite some friends to join. Yeah. Because we are live right now. I'm actually going to text this out to a few people who might enjoy. Boom. Just text it to Maybe Kasha will join us.
There you go.
All right. And if you need any questions, if you have any questions at all about Disney, about should you travel right now, about what it's like to travel to Disney World in Florida right now. Look how cute you are with that cup. It's even an Up cup. He's got an Up cup. Wait, I can have one too. Cheers. Cheers to Monday and being live. It reminds me of Case of the Mondays.
Yeah.
The Mondays. I'm going to make sure that Catherine knows that I'm on. Big celebration alert. The Disney College Program just announced that they are opening back up and applications are available. I think it's really great that they're allowing people who normally wouldn't be able to apply. I think you have to have graduated within 24 months of now. So like even if you missed it last year because of the shutdown, you can actually apply to do it this year, which is super exciting and wonderful and fabulous. But anyhoozles, we're going to get started and we're going to tell you all about what it was like to travel to Walt Disney World in Florida. What were our dates? April, we were there April 17th through the 21st.
Yeah.
So for us, it was a lightning fast trip.
Super fast. Because
the trip prior to that, we were there for 54 days. Not on property. Like, come on. We're freelance artists. Like we're not made of money. But yeah, so Joe, tell us just like an overview, like thoughts, stream of consciousness for us.
Okay, this trip was we the first time when we went for 54 days, neither of us had been vaccinated because there weren't any vaccines at that point. So it was a little bit stressful being there, even though the protocols were amazing. It was still a little bit weird. Like there are things we didn't do indoor dining. We did a couple of things that were really super spread out, but nothing like that we would normally do. We didn't do any of that stuff. And some rides we didn't want to go on just because it didn't feel right. And it was really stressful too, to see like occasionally somebody with a mask down or off or whatever. It was kind of like a trigger thing. But this time around, we were both fully vaccinated. So it was a very different experience. If we saw a place and we wanted to eat inside, there was no hesitation. It's like, yeah, let's go eat inside.
We just did it.
Any rides, let's do that. We didn't do Tower of Terror, which is
because
the timing wasn't
great. The timing wasn't right. I was like, I don't know, like you can't hang out at Oga's and have a couple of outer rims and then dash over to the Tower of Terror.
No, that won't end well.
No. So basically it was like this trip was the trip of yes. We just said yes to everything.
Yeah, and it felt like we did more in those 4 days we were there than we did in the 54 days. I know it's not true or
no,
possible.
But it did feel that way. And you had said before that it was interesting because almost being there for so long, we were every day like, oh no, we can do that later. We can do that later. We can do that, next time.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like maybe that is what it's like if you live there. Like maybe you're not necessarily trying to like squeeze so much into every day. Like it did feel like maybe that's how we would experience Disney on a more local level, especially when we were staying at the Airbnbs and kind of driving. And I was like, oh my God, okay. So it's like if we really lived in a little condo, like 20 minutes away from Disney World, this is what not every day of life would be, but but yeah, being there for 4 nights, 5 days, it was great. It was so like, that's my new ideal length for a trip, like 4 nights, 5 days. We really easily hit every park. We even Disney Springs. We went to Disney Springs a couple of different times.
Yeah.
It was so like, this was the most fun trip I think that I've ever had in my life to Disney World.
It was really fun. It was.
So let's start with we're going to talk about how we got there and back. We're going to talk about where we stayed. We're going to talk about what we brought. We're going to talk about what we ate, and we're going to talk about what we did. All right. So let's start with how we got there. So we flew from Islip. We did have a layover in Baltimore, which was fine. We, got off the plane, got a Cinnabon, got some coffee. Yeah. Laughed hysterically for no reason.
Oh, yeah, what
was so funny? We were like laughing so hard that like we were worried security was going to escort us to a little room to like recover. I don't even remember like what was so funny. You know what was so funny? Our first flight was at like 6 a.m. and we probably went to bed at like midnight and had left our apartment at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So what was so funny was sleep deprivation.
Yeah. There was something. There was something with the coffee.
Something. Oh, I think I like spilled, or I was on several struggle buses. But so we flew Southwest. They are selling the plane more than they were there. There's no more of this like middle aisle is going to be open. So just know that. People are douchebags on Southwest flights. Like we paid on the second flight, we paid to be in like the A1-2 position.
Yeah, because every time we travel, we always forget to, 24 hours beforehand? You can check in. We always forget. We're like C804 to get on the plane.
There is no like D section, but I feel like we end up in it every time. And on Southwest, there's no assigned seats. You just go on and you take any old seat. And so people are like trying to like, some woman literally tried to tell me that like the overhead bin above her seat was reserved. And I was like, honey, no, you can't do that. And I like put my bag up there because I was like, no. I spent $40 to get on this plane before everyone else. I put in my bag where I want to put my bag. But anyway, don't hit that because you keep moving that thing. Anyway, what? This is the second time you've kicked it.
Go ahead. Keep going.
I have a certain standard of excellence that Park Hopper Daily live streams from our computer need to achieve. So I'm going to hear it from Mike. Anyway, so the flights were fine. Flights home were fine. I didn't really have any like safety things, but I believe 100% that was because we were fully vaccinated. If you're nervous about flying and you are flying Southwest or anywhere where you can like kind of pick a seat, maybe just try to pick like as close to the front as possible. I did feel very good on our second flight we were actually in the very front row.
Nice.
That was my phone. Anyway, we were in the front row, and so that made me feel, a lot better that I didn't have to deal with the whole flight because it was a little weird being in that tube. As a performer and a theater director, it really pisses me off that I'm allowed to be on a plane for 2 hours, like in a teeny tiny enclosed space, and I can't even like do a show for 90 minutes. In a humongous space. But anyway, that's a different podcast for a different day. Yeah. The double standard and the restrictions.
Well, planes also have like intense air filtration systems.
I don't care. Anyway.
Just telling you.
Okay, Joe, how did you feel about the travel?
It felt good. I didn't like the layover because we got there 2 hours later than I wanted to get there. But
And what did you want to do that morning?
what do you mean?
What crazy idea did you have when we got to Islip to fly out?
Oh, to get on the other, because there was another plane that we could have upgraded to or got on because there was another direct flight.
Would have gotten us there 2 hours earlier, and it was a direct flight. But Joe, how much extra was it?
It was an extra $1,000.
He wanted us to. That was our entire, more than our entire budget for the whole trip.
Sleep deprivation. Decisions should not be made.
Those last minute upgrades. No, we did not upgrade. We did our
it,
layover. We got there when we got there.
Yeah.
What we did.
It was perfect, actually.
What we did decide to do was we did get a lift when we landed. We grabbed our bags because, yes, we did have some checked bags, but we got a lift. And so the other side of travel right now, once you're actually on property, yes, you can take the Disney buses, but our experience with the Disney buses.
What?
The Disney buses?
You don't like the Disney buses?
How was our experience with the Disney buses on this most recent trip?
Oh, the buses. I thought you meant the Magical Express.
No, once we're on property.
Oh, yeah, the buses. It was a bad experience with the buses.
That's what I was trying to
say. Yeah. Well, we were talking about travel and taking a lift, and then you said the experience with the buses.
Well, I was saying once we're on property.
Yeah.
Not Orlando property, Disney World property.
Yeah.
So it's a pro and a con. The pro is they are not packing the buses. They are leaving some space to physically distance. They're partitioned, and that's all great. But the con, of course, is that means fewer parties can get on buses. And fewer parties on the buses means that, one morning we're outside waiting for a bus to, I don't even know where we were going, but we're at our station waiting, and buses are just driving by. Not even
going to Disney Springs, right?
Yeah, they're not even stopping for. Yeah, we were about to. We were about to just walk. We were trying to map it out.
The bus just went right by because it was full already.
It was full. What are they going to do? Waste time to stop and tell us? No, they're just going to send another bus. And usually I prefer to use Lyft or Uber when we're down because I'm very impatient, and I would it's worth the $12 to me to get an extra half hour, 45 minutes in the park, especially if it's a rope drop scenario. That's prime time. That's worth $35 to me to get there early, taking a cab. So, even those were extremely frustrating and lacking. And
that one guy who took us around, or the woman who took us behind Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, she got confused, and her GPS was trying to take us to the minivan drop off, which only minivans are allowed to go to. So I saw the drop off at the Ticket and Transportation Center, and I was like, okay, just drop us here. And she's like, no, I'll get you closer. And 15 minutes later, we're in the exact same spot. And I was like, can you just drop us off? Drop us off. Let me out of this car. I'll get on the ferry or whatever. And she ended up doing a strange U-turn at the Contemporary, and I think getting yelled at by the security guard, but we just got out of the car and ran away because I was like, no, I'm done. Thank you. Bye. So usually one of my biggest tips when people ask me what should I do, I'm always just use Lyft, use Uber. It's worth it. It's easier than renting a car. It's, it's not that expensive, but this trip proved otherwise. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know if there's just so many more people using Lyfts and Ubers now.
Probably because the buses.
Or was it? Did people have to like leave the area because tourism went down so bad and like you couldn't like sustain? I don't know. Did we just have like an off week?
And it's that off week. Who knows? We did have one exceptional bus experience.
Oh, yes.
You remember?
Tell us, Joe. Tell us.
Well, we stayed at, I'm kind of jumping ahead because we were going to get to this, but we closed down Magic Kingdom. It was like the second to last night, right? We were there? Was it?
Yeah, whenever it was. Not relevant.
But go ahead. You tell the story.
No, stop.
Nope.
So we're closing down Magic Kingdom, and we're there like 3 hours past closing, maybe 2.5 hours past closing. And I'm on my phone, like checking out Lyft and seeing if there's any cars around. So I'm positive that they're not going to drive us. We're going to have to walk over to the Contemporary.
Yeah, there was
grab a cab.
nobody leaving the park. There was just us, and there was one other person there that we were taking pictures with. But, at that time, we walked out. We weren't sure if there were any buses, but as we were leaving the park, there was security, by the front where people come in, and we're going out, and we said, "Are there any buses?" And they said, "Yeah," and they told us where they were, and they said, "Where are you going?" And we told them, where we were going, and we started to head towards the bus, and then was it a bus driver or who was that? Because there was a couple of people. They walked towards us, and they said, "Where can we take you?" And we said, "Well, we're staying at Caribbean Beach, but we're really close to I can't think of the name of it.
Riviera.
The Riviera. We're really close to the Riviera." So they said, "Well, just tell us where you want to go. We'll take you there," because basically it was just us on the bus. It was a private bus for us.
It was so fun.
It was great.
It was so great. We were totally ready to just like wait in either spot. And they were like, "No, you don't understand. Like, there's a bus here waiting, and it's going to take you wherever you want it to take you."
Yeah.
And it was like, that was really cool.
It was really cool.
So getting around, I guess, patience is my number one bit of advice. I used to be able to circumvent patience with Lyft and Uber, but that is no longer a real, like that tried my patience more than waiting for the damn bus. So, if there is if you have a reservation that you're really trying to make, if there's something that you really desperately need to do, you have to give yourself extra time, even more than you thought, even more than before. And what you also need to plan more than before is like your park passes. I do think that more they were like kind of sold out of May. And then I saw on Emily Carlson's Instagram a couple of days ago that there was like a whole bunch more options in May, which looks like that may mean that they're increasing capacity, because I don't think a whole bunch of people just went on and canceled their May trips. I think that Disney released more availability, which is also a good and a bad. It's been nice that the parks haven't been too crowded. But more people being allowed to go and more people going is always going to be a positive, because it means more people are getting magic, which is fabulous. So you brought it up a little bit, but tell us where we stayed.
We stayed at Caribbean Beach.
For the first time. It was a first for both of us.
Yeah.
Now I'm hitting the thing.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're kicking it wildly.
Okay, that was me. That was my fault. Anyhoozles, Caribbean Beach.
It was beautiful.
Our check-in was so great. We had the sweetest cast member on the human planet. Shout outs to Vicky.
Yeah.
You were so great.
Great.
She like really took her time with us, like gave us all kinds of like insider tips on like what to do, where to eat. And then she went in the back and like was back for like a solid like 5-6 minutes. And
because we requested Aruba.
That is the one that you want if you can get it. I mean, it seemed like there was one villa set that was really far away that maybe I wouldn't love as much, but the rest were like not too terrible of a walk. No. But Aruba was the best because it was the one that's closest to actually the Skyliner, the Riviera stop. So we only took the Skyliner to the Caribbean Beach stop a couple of times. And actually I think we got on at the Riviera and then took it and then you have to get off and get on the one for Hollywood Studios. Yep. But it was such a great resort experience. We're actually going to stay there again in December. It might be like one of my, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, this was a pandemic project. This is our closet, now the purple wall. So that might be like Polynesian's always going to be like number one favorite. But I think if we're like paying cash, I think Caribbean Beach might be my new favorite. Because
it was so convenient. Yeah, being that close to the Skyliner was amazing.
And being that close to the Riviera without paying Riviera prices.
Yeah. We had breakfast at Primo, right?
Primo Piatto.
Twice.
Oh my gosh.
We
And
walked right
Topolino
over there.
Terrace one. Like we spent more time at the Riviera
We really did.
than we did at any park or anything. That was like our respite. Oh crap, the computer's gonna die. Tell them more about Caribbean Beach. I'm gonna plug us in.
Caribbean Beach, it was really nice. We had an amazing view out of the room. We could see the Riviera, and there's a lake there, and it was gorgeous at night with the lights from the Riviera reflecting the lake. And they have a really cool area around where what's the name of the quick service there at Caribbean Beach that you can go and get?
Oh, I don't even know.
We went in there and got food one night.
We did. I can't remember though.
I forget the name of it, but it was beautiful. That whole area around there, the way they have it made up, it really feels like you're away. I mean, obviously we were away on vacation, but it feels like you're in a completely different place.
I'm sorry, bridges. I'm snacking. I'm really hungry.
Little bridges going over the lake, and they have outdoor movies there.
Yeah, they were playing Ratatouille when we walked by once.
Yeah, it was really nice.
So cool. So 10 out of 10 recommend Caribbean Beach.
Yeah.
Super convenient with the Skyliner, especially with all of the issues that we talked about before with transportation. It felt like the Skyliner was the best way to get around. It was, even when there was a line, it moved so quickly that it just wasn't even.
Yeah. It wasn't a problem.
It really wasn't.
One night they closed it down though, because we came out of storm. We were getting ready to head home, and it was pouring rain and lightning, and obviously metal towers in the sky in a little metal box.
Do not want to be in the Skyliner in the middle of a storm like that, and this is like the way that they rock too. Like,
yeah, that would have been bad.
But yeah, so it was fine. It was great. Yeah, I loved. It's maybe I don't think it's a value, but it is a moderate, but it's fairly inexpensive for the moderates, and especially for its location and amenities. I mean, yeah, you walk into the room and it's got that motel structure, but it's still got the Disney vibe and magic and like all the extra little touches. It made it so great. Yeah, I very much love Caribbean Beach. That was a wonderful experience. So let's jump over to food, because I think that this was the foodie adventure.
We're both really hungry right now.
Yeah, this is gonna be a rough segment. Like Joe was saying before, on our honeymoon trip, we did not dine indoors, and now that was a combination of not wanting to expose ourselves potentially to COVID. But it was also a little bit budgetary, because being on such a long trip, we were really like, I think our budget was like $75 a day, which if you know Disney, you know that that's not a big budget.
Yeah.
And that was for everything. So
that's another reason why this trip felt like we did more, because we were saving and not like going crazy on the 54-day binge there.
Yeah.
But this was 4 days. It's like, should we eat there? Yep, let's do it. Like there was no question,
So I actually had to write a list, because even in those 4 days or 5 days, like 4 days in a morning, we went to a ton of places. So our first place was actually Mama Melrose, which I think I went to once, like so long ago that it doesn't even count, but we went, and it was so cute. I thought it was hilarious going as like people who live in New York, and especially Joe's like from New York. It was like, you kind of walk in, you're like, oh, okay, so we're in Times Square.
Yeah, it's like in Paris Disney when they had the New York themed hotel, and we went in and everything was apples.
And we're like, really?
Because it's a big apple, so they just assume that it's an apple. The city's apple themed.
Like, is that what people in Paris think? I mean, maybe if you're from France and you come to Epcot and you go to France, they're just like, oh, really? This is what you think of us? Oh, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. That wasn't a very good French accent. I apologize. But anyway, Mama Melrose, very cute, very fun. I think if you're from New York, maybe even like New Jersey, like the tri-state area, maybe if you like don't have a lot of time in Disney, like maybe you don't need to experience it, because you probably have better at home. But if you're not from those areas, then go eat your heart out. It's a good little taste. We also we didn't have any food here, but it's on the list because we love it so much. But the Nomad Lounge, we had a great experience there. Yeah. Actually stumbled upon people who live like a block away from us on Long Island.
Yeah, they were in line behind us because we got there. They opened at 11, so we got in line about 10:30. And
pro tip.
Yeah,
that's the pro tip.
And a couple and their daughter were behind us in line, and we just started talking. And I was like, "Oh, where are you from?" And they said, "Long Island. Where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, well, us too." "Oh, really? Where?" "Hampton Bays." "Really? Us too?"
Yeah, and then we started talking about the where, and we're like, "Okay, we're literally like neighbors." Like,
yeah, and it turns out that I kind of know like everyone they know.
Yeah, they like went to high school.
Went to high school.
A bunch of their like cousins and stuff.
Brothers.
So
yeah, the woman's brother. Graduated high school with him.
So random. But Nomad is like my number one favorite place in Animal Kingdom, especially now because it's just such a great escape from the crowds. And especially if you can get a little seat outside, you can see the little water. They have the cavalcades. I hope that those water cavalcades and all of the little cavalcades that they have in all the parks right now, I hope that those stay long after COVID because it's so fun. It's just like a little pop of magic floating by. Yeah. And you don't have to wait in a line. Like, no, you don't get to like hug them or do like the full like meet and greet experience, but it is such a fun little, especially when the band the like drum corps kind of boat comes by. Like that's really cute. We tried out for the first time Liberty Tree Tavern. Yeah. And it was very good. But I think that maybe I wasn't quite hungry enough to get the full experience. Or maybe it was talked up a little too much and I had higher expectations. Kasha's going to yell at me about that. You should not have expectations. It's the only way you can get disappointed.
It was good. I mean, it was not a bad experience at all. The food was good. I mean, it wasn't exceptional, but it was good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was good. Yeah. It was like solid, good meal. But I was like,
give you a lot too.
They'll give you as much as you want. You can keep getting more.
But we didn't ask for more because they start out by giving you a decent amount. So there's no like.
So like, I guess for me, I was kind of like, for the price and for the time, like I would rather have ordered actually like off of a menu at like Skipper Canteen. I think that for the same kind of price range, I would rather have the experience there than at Liberty Tree. But the dessert was exceptional. Yeah, the toffee chocolate something. Yeah, it was like a cookie and then ice cream and then all kinds of like.
It was good.
Oh, that was really good.
Yeah.
One day we were there. We spent an evening at Disney Springs and it was a torrential downpour. Like torrential. But we were at.
And it lasted a while.
It did, yeah.
Sometimes it was not like a tropical that goes by 15 minutes and it's over. This was like
a solid hour of like
at least
downpour.
Yeah.
So we actually had reservations at Wine Bar George that we were going to, and we were sitting out on the balcony and it started to rain a little bit and they're like, "Do you want to move inside?" And we're like, "No, this is actually it's like a really cool view." It felt like a front row seat to where they record like sound machine sound effects.
Yeah, we were on the end of the balcony too, so we had a view going to the left and straight out.
Like right to the to our left was Gideon's, so we got to watch everyone waiting in line for cookies just get battered, just annihilated by the rain. The poor staff, I felt so bad for them. They're all like, had like 2 umbrellas and just drenched. Yeah. But still like in character and happy and doing their thing. And then directly across from us, our view was Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar, which we didn't go to. I'm just realizing.
No, we didn't.
We always.
Yeah.
This is our first trip that we didn't even like pop in. Wow.
I felt like we did though, because we just gazed at it.
No, we did. We sat there gazing longingly at it. We're like appreciating it from a distance. So, we lasted out there for like maybe 5 minutes and then the rain started going sideways.
Yeah,
so
the wind shifted and it started. Yeah.
But they were so sweet. Like it's Wine Bar George does small plates, tapas. And we just had a slow, steady. We did a cheese plate. We did the macaroni and cheese
bites,
like the crispy mac and cheese bites. We got an order of meatballs
on the polenta.
With polenta, everything comes with polenta at Disney, and it's amazing. Like I'm here for it.
And they were great too. They were like, you stay as long as you want.
There was no like, okay, so you've been here for an hour and a half.
Because it was raining so hard, nobody was walking around Disney Springs, so it's not like there were people coming in waiting for a table. So the people who were already there, that was it.
Did we get no, we didn't get dessert because we were heading to Gideon's. But the dessert menu looked really good. Good. I want to go again. We had joined just before we went to Wine Bar George. We had put our names in for the virtual queue at Gideon's, and of course they're like texting us like, you can go get in line now, and we're like looking outside and we're like, no.
And you could barely see Gideon's because the rain was so heavy.
We're gonna wait. No. But when we did finally leave, we did head over to Gideon's and had, hands down, one of the coolest, most unique experiences that I've ever had. And I just so respect, like, I think that this is like the kind of thing that Walt would just be over the moon about. Like that, like, he had such attention to detail and inspired that in his Imagineers and cast members and writers, like just, and everyone involved, like that ripple effect. And now here's another person, Steve, right, who owns Gideon's and who is heavily inspired by Disney and Haunted Mansion and, like that kind of immersive storytelling. Like you're not just going in to buy a cookie. Like he even posted, I think yesterday I saw one of his posts. He's like, it's as much an art gallery as it is a bake shop. Like Gideon's like it's more than just cookies. And you feel that from the second that you stand online and the woman who was working the virtual queue starts telling us the backstory.
Steve apparently went into the building at one point. I forget what year it was.
Not Steve. Steve is the one who makes the cookies.
Oh, who?
I can't remember the other guy, but they're like whoever owned the building. This like the whole like backstory. Yeah, there was like a bookstore, and there's still all these cool bookshelves. Yeah. It's like Tim Burton and Disney like amalgam of just weird awesomeness that I really.
But the owner of the bookstore apparently went in one day and never left the building, and they have no idea what happened to him.
But the lights flicker sometimes, and they say that's how you know he's still around.
But it's so cool. The inside is so well done. It's just phenomenal. And the line was so long. Yeah, we got a lot of cookies and a T-shirt
and a candle
and a candle
and a peanut butter cold brew. I miss it.
So good.
It was so good.
Yeah. But you kind of walk through pretty quickly because the line, like they just let in a couple of people at a time. So you go in and you do your thing right away. There's no like hanging out in there because they're trying to move the line through. But there's so much stuff to look at. I would love to go like either early or be like the last one in and not have to race around or race out.
No, but that said, like that was kind of, we put that kind of rush on ourselves because we didn't know that there was a long line waiting to get in. But I will say a credit to our awesome guy. I think his name was Eric and now I can't remember, but whoever was helping us out, like he said many times, take your time. Don't rush. It's okay.
That's true.
There's a lot to take in. And there was not one moment when I felt like they were trying to kick us out. This is Anita's going to tell Joe I told you so, because I tried to get him to take an Allegra last night and he's like, I don't have allergies. And now his eyes and his nose and his whole face is so congested because I told you have allergies.
I have allergies to cats.
Where did you see a cat today?
I didn't see a cat today. I was at work today.
You could also have seasonal allergies. There's a bunch of stuff in bloom.
I was outside all day working, so
it wouldn't be something that's in bloom outside.
I think it would have hit me 7 hours ago when I was outside.
We also went to Boathouse. That was our last evening, and it was so good. Oh, the rolls! Oh.
Those rolls.
if I could, I would live in a home made of boathouse rolls and Gideon cookies. Just let that be my last meal. Like, I don't care when I die or how I die, as long as that's my last meal. Let it be Gideon's cookies and boathouse rolls, because they were just so good. What did you like about Boathouse?
I liked sitting outside, and I liked that they had blue lights underwater.
Yeah, it was
That
really
was really
nice.
cool.
That was a cool touch. It was beautiful out there.
Yeah.
And the little amphicar is kind of floating around,
Yep.
coming in and out. Poor thing. You seem really miserable right
Yeah, I
now.
don't know what happened.
We're gonna wrap this up soon, but plus I'm starving, and our chicken pot pies are in the oven, and they're about to be done.
Can you smell them?
Can you?
Yeah, I can. Amazingly enough, so you know they smell good. If I could smell it through.
Our last place that we ate was another huge shout out to Emily Carlson. She does We Do Disney Right. We Do Travel Right, travel agent. She hooked us up with a reservation at Topolino's Terrace our last morning, and we got to go there with our dear friend Terry, and we got to like interact with Minnie, Donald, Daisy, and my man Mickey Mouse.
Yep.
And yes, I cried. Yes, I cried, because those like one-on-one interactions are like one of the biggest things that's missing. I mean, occasionally on a cavalcade, you'll get like a, that they're pointing at you, but like he really came around to every table distance. He didn't come all the way up, but he posed for photos so we could do like kind of like over the shoulder kind of selfie things. I'm getting residual allergies from you. Oh my gosh. Anyway, apparently we're in like a little allergy like vortex right now. All the characters came around. They did this fun little dance. They did this little song. They were so great. And the food was amazing. And they have Pog juice, which made me long for Boma to be open. I hope that they can open again soon. I heard a rumor. This is total rumor, not on the Disney website, and I probably shouldn't share it because we're like news, but just a rumor, and I hope it's true, that a lot of Animal Kingdom Lodge and those restaurant cast members were starting to be called back. So hopefully that means that some more places are going to be able to open, because we love it all. We really do. So that's everything that, like, all the places really that we went to eat. And aside from all those restaurants, if you can imagine that we were still hungry, we did try some stuff at the Flower and Garden Festival, because it was a 2021 Flower and Garden Festival at Epcot, and there were some really great treats. I thought that the festival was like really beautiful. We didn't like go around and experience it as much because we were doing a lot more indoor dining. But we also tried the pizza from the Elusive Pizza Window in Italy. And how was it, Joe?
Awful.
The worst.
It was horrible.
-3 out of 10. Recommend.
Yeah, I mean, it was a $8 slice of pizza.
$8.25.
But it was huge. It was like the size of a Frisbee.
Get it? I think I put this in my stories when we came back for Park Hopper Daily. But if you want like a snack for like a toddler, if they are just like happy chewing on cardboard for a few hours, that would be a great snack for them. But if you have taste buds, don't get it.
It really wasn't.
Don't
good.
get it. It was so gross. And what a disappointment to be so close to the best pizza on property.
Yeah.
No. All right. Whatever that was. We also, something that was really good that I got to try, because stop, Mom, I'm working right now. Don't try to FaceTime me. My God. Okay. Anyway, seriously, stop. Okay. We got to try not we, Joe doesn't drink, but I got to try the frozen Kirin. It's at the Shaved Ice stand in the Japan Pavilion. And she's literally, this is the third time she's calling me. Hold on. Mom, I'm doing a podcast right now. What's up? I sent you the link. We're live, and now you're part of it.
She obviously is not watching.
You obviously aren't watching. Whatever. It's fine. Well, you could chat in the chat, or you could just call me, and now you're part of the show. No, I know. I'm gonna go though because we are live. Okay, bye. Sylvia Boyer, everyone.
That was great.
What does this say? Garden? Oh, we tried. The Flower and Garden Festival, yeah. And then we had the Primo Piatto, our favorite breakfast at the Riviera Resort. We had that a couple of times.
That breakfast is so good there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more polenta, right? And the eggs.
Yep, polenta, eggs, sausage, bacon, a little bit of green. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's not lettuce, but it's like something, and it's really good.
And you sit right out. Like, we always take our food outside and sit by, there's tables right on the edge of the lake.
And you can watch the Skyliner.
Skyliner cruising by. Yeah.
I feel like I'm there right now.
I know.
Oh,
It's
God.
nice.
And we also had one breakfast at Hollywood Studios, at Ronto Roasters. And they have like an overnight oats kind of situation, and it was phenomenal.
It was really good.
It
That's right. I forgot about that.
We got it because I was like hungry, and we were sharing a Ronto wrap, and I was like, I want my own Ronto wrap. But then we were like, do we really want to spend like $25 on 2 Ronto wraps? And we were like, no. So we were sharing one. I was like, but I do want like another little something. So we got that just to try it. And I'm so glad I did because it was so good.
Really good.
It had like weird shaped fruits. I don't know. It definitely had like that star fruit.
Yeah.
I don't know. They went above and beyond to make it look.
It was good.
Galactic.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. That's everything I wrote down. We got to have a couple of drinks at Oga's Cantina with Scott and you had
I had
Blurg Fire.
Blurg Fire. I did.
I think that Oga's Cantina and Nomad Lounge are two of the best places to go if you're looking for fun, non-alcoholic beverages. Like, I think that they have just as many cool and like curated, not just like a seltzer with like a wedge of something, like they have actual like drinks that don't have alcohol in them, and I think that is so great.
Yeah. And they're good.
Yeah, they are.
The Blurg Fire has the spice, right?
Yeah. It's like the spice
really
red. Yep. We went there with Scott and Emily Carlson, who we finally got to meet in real life. This was also a trip of just getting to see people, and we got to run into people who we like know via Instagram.
Also, we saw Scott at the Riviera, and you kind of like, wait, is that Scott over there?
I got shy.
And I'm like, so I'll say something, and you didn't say anything, so I yelled out, Scott, and I like turned like looking in the other direction, but looking out of the corner of my eye to see if he turned around, and he did.
He did.
So
that's how we met him. It was really fun.
Yeah.
But
and we told him that we did that. I mean, obviously he heard me yell out, but
I think he figured it out before we told him. But yeah, we did come clean that it was us. More than even running into people that we have kind of been following and interacting with online, it was also really fun to just get back to a little bit more of that, like striking up conversations with strangers, which I love so much at Disney. We got to meet a few people who like, we just really, before, like, I feel like COVID has made us all just like super like, other humans, don't talk to me. I don't want your spittle coming at me and infecting me. But on this trip, we struck up conversations with a bunch of people, and we are still in touch with a few people online, and a few people we just like had that moment and then moved on. But it was so cool to like start to get that connection back. I feel like that was missing from our trip that we did before.
Yeah, we didn't have any of that.
Well,
54 days.
With
a couple
Jamie.
of people. Yeah, Jamie, that was it.
Jim Disney.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jim Disney. And we definitely had a ton of time in all of the parks without, I'm still sore, I think, from it. I think that
we even had, I don't know how we did it, but we managed to spend 2 different times of laying by the pool.
Like having a little midday, mid-afternoon,
like a
little
relax
nap by the pool. It like Disney time is like a different kind of structure. Like I very much feel like an hour at Disney is like 3 hours anywhere else. You can do so much. But if you are looking to travel to Disney World right now, I think it's a great time to go. I think that they're doing still a decent job. The one thing that I ranted about last Thursday, so I won't go too far. The one thing that was disappointing was the real lack of masking outdoors and blatantly disregarding the rules from the guests. And then like kind of being understaffed, I guess, on Disney's end with people going around and enforcing this, or maybe they're exhausted from trying to enforce it. And so they just aren't anymore. But that was the only thing that was lacking for me. And like, we're vaccinated, so it didn't really affect me that like personally, but I was just frustrated as like a human who cares about other humans. Like none of the kids there are vaccinated because they can't be, and you don't know what everybody else's situation is. So if there's a rule, just do the rule. Just do the rule. And if you can't handle wearing a mask, don't go to Disney right now. Just don't. It's really that simple.
I agree.
Yeah.
Did you hear the oven?
I did. Our Popeyes are ready, so we're going to go. Is there anything else that you wanted to share about our most recent trip to Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort?
No, it was really fun. And I love that we stayed at the Caribbean Beach, like Anita said, because we had never stayed there before. So having gone to Disney so many times, it's nice to be in a place that's different, that's new, you know. That's a good feeling. It feels like a completely like a whole new experience.
Yeah.
So,
and there's a few other resorts that we've never been to.
Yeah, we have to do
so
that.
We can have those
Make the
experiences
rounds.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in, for checking us out. If you're watching us now on YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe because, you know, then you'll get an alert next time we do something fun and random and live like this. If you're listening on iTunes, be sure to hit subscribe. Give us a little rate. Give us a little review. Hit that 5 stars. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to do anything. Just do it. All right, friends. Have a wonderful, magical evening. I'm Anita.
I'm Joe.
And we are here for Park Hopper Daily. Bye. Bye.